I know radio communication can be very, very intimidating.
Person support standby. Endurance we have 4 hours. Alpha 7, temperature 25 degrees hard.
Especially if you are just getting into the aviation industry and you are trying to communicate, especially as a student pilot for the first time, or maybe you have something to do with communication as an engineer. Yes, because engineers also do radio communication when they want to taxi aircraft from the ramp, probably to the hangar for maintenance or for one reason or the other. So now let me try to, break down how radio communication can be a little bit easy for you. I'm not saying it's going to be all easy because sometimes controllers, they can communicate like 5 sentences all put together in one and you can feel like lost. Sometimes I even feel lost even up till now. But there are some tips to make it a bit easy, a bit, like for you to flow through and for you not to guess. So these are the things I want to discuss with you today. So in case you're in for that, stay tuned. So hi guys, my name is Princess Anu. I share my journey through the cockpit and beyond so that you can learn, grow and fly higher too. So just in case those are the kind of things you love, please give up a subscribe. Please subscribe, click on the subscribe button and like this video if you really gain value out of it. So the first tip I want to give you, which sometimes I know might have a downside, and when I mean I know it might have a downside, is that if you use this tip, you might end up in confirmation bias. And this is what I mean. For instance, you already have it at the back of your mind that the air traffic controller is going to say flight level 320. And that's what you have at the back of your mind. But this guy says climb flight level 200, request level change en route. And you get like, oh my god. You might even read back flight level 320 because that's what you were expecting. And that's why I said this first tip might look daunting. But what I want you to do, the first thing you need to know in radio communication that can make it easy for you, that can make you flow, is for you to know beforehand what the air traffic controller may likely say. Yes, if you have it at the back of your mind, what the air traffic controller will likely say, it will give you the opportunity to be able to flow through your radio communication. For example, you want to start the aircraft, right? The moment you get into the cockpit and you want to start, you're going to make a radio call. Let me talk about it as a student pilot. So now I get into cockpit as a student pilot and I will first of all want to do a radio check. So what I was taught in flight school is that you come into the cockpit, input your radios, and let's say you're calling, I'm going to use my flight school as an example. So let me say I'm going to be calling Zaria Tower. So I press the talk button and I'm like, Zaria Tower, this is 5 November, Charlie, how do you read? So I'm saying how do you read to find out how the air traffic controller is most likely hearing me and if he can read me. So we know in radio communication there are 5 stages of how somebody can read you. So there's stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when he says he reads me 5, I know I am very loud and clear and he can read me properly. So if he reads me 1, he doesn't practically read me, or I am definitely unreadable. So you know those stages, that's something you need to do. So if he says, okay, I read you 5, then I know, oh, perfect, he reads me properly. The next thing I'm going to do I want to call for an engine start? So now I am thinking, I want to call for an engine start. So like Zaria Tower, 5 November, Charlie, requesting engine startup for flights to maybe their sectors, or let me just use, let's say you're going for cross country, you're going to Kanu. So for flight to Kanu, flight level this, and my endurance, which is the fuel we have on board, is 4 hours, and your fuel you have on board is 4 hours, and persons on board, probably you and your instructor, 2 persons on board. That's basically what you're telling the traffic controller. Now you need to know what to expect from him. So he will most likely say cleared engine startup, QNH is this time, because he will give you his time to make sure your time is synchronized with his time to make everything easy. So if I don't yet know what the air traffic controller is expecting of me, I might just be, maybe he says something and I'm thinking, what has he said? Or I'm trying to copy everything. or I may miss out on some things because I do not know exactly what he wants me to say. So the first tip I'm giving you is to know what your air traffic controller is expecting from you and what you're expecting to hear from him, because once you know what you're expecting to hear from him, whatever he's saying is not going to sound like vague. You know, if he says flight level, okay, you already know. Because sometimes air traffic control, the voice might sound not so clear. But once you know what to expect, it helps to break down anything or everything that they might have said. Second tip is to go through the entire flight, let's simulate the entire flight and think of what do you expect from this flight. For example, you sit in the cockpit and let's say you're done with engine start. Now you're going to taxi. You're going to request for taxi. What is the air traffic controller going to say? Continue the flight. When you get up to the runway, what are you going to tell the air traffic controller? What are you expecting the air traffic controller to say? Play different scenarios. Okay, you're coming into another airfield that is not your regular airfield. What is air traffic controller going to likely say to you? Is he going to say descend to flight level this? Is he going to say this? What are you going to respond? This will really help you know, understand what air traffic controllers are talking to you and what you're most likely going to respond back to them. Another very beautiful tip I'm going to give you is for you to also listen to a lot of air traffic control scenarios. Go on YouTube, watch videos where air traffic controller is communicating with people. Try to decipher what they are trying to say. So when you listen to a lot of air traffic control voices, what they are saying, especially in very busy airfields, it will also help you decipher what these people are trying to talk about, what they are saying, how they are saying it, and what you expect to do when they say this. What is this air traffic controller even saying? That really helps. Also to practice with your friend. Now sit down with somebody that is also a colleague and talk to them as an air traffic controller and expect them to reply to you. This is what we did a lot. I did it to my classmates a whole lot of times in flight school, because they serve as air traffic controller, and when you don't respond properly, they tell you, hey, this is what you're supposed to say. So they give you there and then the reply they are expecting to hear, and you are able to correct yourself. So you do it several times with them, and you are able to build your air traffic control skills. Now when you come to the airlines, trust me, when you start flying on the line, like going into different other countries, like flying internationally, the communication is a bit different. But the thing about it is still understanding what you're expecting to hear and what they're expecting you to say. So when you know what you're expecting to hear, one way or the other, you are able to communicate. But when you don't know what you're expecting to hear, when they communicate something, you're feeling lost. The last tip I'm going to give you, which I still use till today, is this golden tip. I get my writing pad and my pen. Once a traffic controller starts speaking to me, I start writing, because come on, sometimes you cannot completely cram or register everything they have said. They've given you an altitude, they've given you a clearance, they've given you somebody to talk to. The moment you write down what they are saying, you'll be able to look at it and read it back to them. Let's say you are not with your pen and paper immediately. You should always put your pen and paper anyways. But let's say you are not with something, a scratch pad, look for a scratch pad around you. Most likely going to be your FMS. Use your FMS to type down what they are saying, and it will help you remember, and you're able to communicate back exactly what they've said. So some of these tips have been able to help you and help you understand some of these things I'm talking about today, and how to overcome the fear of radio communication while flying. I hope you go do excellently out there. Alright, till I see you next time. Bye.